The network is quite slow. All right. Good evening, everybody. Good morning to those that will be joining us from America. Good evening to those in UK. Today's class is going to be a little bit dramatic in a way that we will go over some of the functions which we have seen to be able to acquaint ourselves with what we have today. Starting off with the VPC, which we explained the previous time. As we started our classes, we talked about the virtual private cloud and how it is for us to carve our own space in the cloud. And in VPC, we talked about lots of services. We looked at the internet gateway, which is the gateway for us to have internet access into our virtual private cloud. And we also talked about, subdividing our virtual private cloud into components, which is called the subnet. And we said it would be appropriate for us to have backups of what we have been doing. So why not we create a different availability zone to ensure that what we are provisioning in one availability zone would be able to go into another availability zone. Peradventure, there is an advent of problems. And going down, we now wanted to secure our subnet, and we suggested that the most appropriate way to have our subnet secured is to ensure that we have network access control list, which we set up. And then we organize the inbound rules and also the outbound rules. And I told the class that they are actually stateless. NACLs are stateless. Yeah, they are stateless. And that is to say that the inbound traffic mustn't be allowed to go out except the IPs are allowed. But if for the security group, we say the security group is the security which we would have at the server level, at the instance level. We created the security groups, use the security groups to barricade our instances. And in the security group that was stateful, yeah, whatever traffic that is allowed in can be allowed out. And we all were happy about that, knowing that the security group would allow whatever that comes in go out. So that makes it a stateful service. Today, now, we want to talk about security and monitoring. And in security and monitoring, we would talk about four important functions, which first of all is just for us to go over the security group and acquaint ourselves of it and see if the time permits we provision it. And thereafter, we will look at the CloudWatch. And then we'll talk about CloudTrail, we'll talk about web application firewalls. So, and see how these functions can serve us well as cloud professionals. So now let's dive in. Now, security group, like you would see on my screen, like I said, it's also a firewall at the instance level. When we say instance, we are talking about the Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2. EC2s are Amazon's baby, the servers, what we are using to replace the on-premise server, and they are scalable. All right. So with the security group, we'll be able to regulate access into our servers by ensuring that we make specifications of the kinds of rules that will determine the traffic that would be allowed into the instances. All right. Okay. So having said that, we will run down to the, let me see. Let's get into the cloud, the dashboard of Amazon. Let's see how we can acquaint ourselves in, okay. Let's say VPC. I'm going to search VPC now in the dashboard. Then we'll get into the VPCs and then we see other services in there. So we would be able to talk about the security group and see how we can quickly, we've done all this. but today it's a different day. So it's good we give ourselves some reminders as we navigate forward. Okay, Benjamin, are you here? Or you're still very busy over there? Can you hear me? Okay, let's move on. So now these are services we can find under the virtual private cloud. You can see we have the NAT gateway, and we have the subnet. We have the VPC peering connection. We have the route table. We have the network access control list, which I said is a stateless function. And we have the security group here. And now in a default, there is a security group showing here. There's a single security group. You can see one here. Then we have the internet gateway, but we will not talk much about it because we only want to talk about security group. Only talk about security group. Okay. All right. Let's move on. We can only talk about security group today. So now let's see. I'm clicking security group. Let's see if we want to provision security group for our EC tools. The network is quite slow from my own end, but you still have to bear with me. All right, as you can see,
yeah,
we
I think
have
your
a default security group showing, which is from Amazon. Now, for us to create our own security group, we'll go straight into clicking the security group, and then you specify the name you want to give it. We have lots of names which we have created in the past, and let's say today we are going in with Jacob. All right. Then Benny. Today is UK day, so let me combine the two UK guys. All right, then we move on to give it a kind of description. We may want to say it's for demo purpose. Okay, JKSG, Jacob Benny SG. So now there is a default VPC already taken. So this security group is cascaded into the VPC already. So we let it flow. In a place where we need to create some rules. Can you see the rules? Now you see that there is an inbound rules talking about for us to add rules. If we want to add rule, we add it. And then let's see, let's just add 1 or 2 rules if is the time would let us. So we may come down here to pick SSH, for instance. We pick SSH, which is port 20. Then maybe we give it a description, JB. Then we go on to add another rules. Okay, that may be HTTP